A little bit more. Oh, okay. Hello and welcome to FDS. My name is Nate and I'm your host, and today we are talking about going to your local game store for the Crimson Vow pre-release, or another event if you're watching this after that pre-release. Going to your local game store for an event. Obviously, I should preface this by saying that only if you feel safe doing so and that you are abiding by all local laws and you are doing all the things that you really should be doing. As of the recording of this video, this weekend is the Crimson Vow pre-release, and I figured that since this is one of the events where a larger group of people are more willing to go out and actually attend the event, then I might want to throw out some tips on going to your local game store for an event. And I figured this would be good for new players who are going for the first time, as well as veteran players, because it's been a bit since we've been in a game store together. I don't know about you, but I've gotten really accustomed to not wearing pants. Is that tip number one? Wear pants? Now, if you are considering going to the Crimson Vow pre-release or a pre-release of a set that's in the future, and you've never been to a local game store event before, then pre-releases are excellent choices. Historically, they have been the most casual of tournaments when it comes to actually playing in a local game store, and I highly encourage you to go. They're a lot of fun. And most people who go to these events understand that a lot of people at these events are playing in a tournament for the first time, or maybe even playing Magic competitively for the first time. There tends to be a lot of grace given at these events. Now, I will say that I'm very fortunate that I have an excellent LGS where the owners do not tolerate any discrimination or any improper behavior from the player base of any kind. That makes it a much more welcoming place for new players. If you don't have that, then, well, that brings me to tip number one. If your closest local game store is not a welcoming environment for you, then obviously try others. Now, I understand that this may not be a viable option, because the next closest LGS could be literally hundreds of miles away. In that case, then I encourage you to look up local play groups or Magic clubs and see if you have a local college or university that has a Magic club that would be willing to allow a local to come in and play. Or if you're going to college or a university, check to see if your institution has a Magic club that you could join and play in. Just because you don't have an LGS that's an option, you may have other options. Now, obviously, if you're watching this after the Crimson Vow pre-release, then you can't go to the Crimson Vow pre-release. But there's probably another pre-release coming up. With the way Wizards of the Coast is pumping out Magic sets, I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be another pre-release coming up in at least another week or so. Failing that, here's tip number two. Once you have selected your local game store, check their calendar and see what events they're running. They probably run weekly drafts, and they also probably run maybe monthly sealed events, and they run other special events as well. Find an event that you find interesting, and then maybe go check it out. And that brings me to tip number three. Ask questions. Hit them up on Facebook or go into the store and ask, how much does it cost to get in? What's the prize support? How long do you think it's going to be? How many rounds? That's perfectly fine. That's what they're there for. They should be happy to answer those questions because you're a potential customer if you aren't already a customer. So go in and ask questions and find out more about it. I think the most important thing to find out is how much it's going to be and how long it's going to take. It's always a good idea to find out how long it's going to take. Take it from the guy that didn't when he went to his first pre-release and told his wife that he was only going to be 2 hours and ended up being like 6 hours. I want some packs though. If it's going to be long, if you find out that it's going to be like a pre-release, then pre-releases tend to be long if you are going to stay for the entire event. Plan accordingly. Bring a drink, preferably something in a contained thing so that way if it falls over, it's not going to spill over everything. And maybe bring a snack. Again, avoid something greasy. You may need to touch somebody else's cards. Oh, by the way, always ask permission to touch other people's cards. It's just polite. But yeah, bring water or a drink, a snack to tide you over. Some local game stores don't sell snacks or drinks, and they may not be located in a place where you could walk to or get to a place between rounds. It's a good idea to bring something along just in case. This next one, I know you know this. I know you do, but I cover it anyway, just in case. Bathe. And the final one, and this is the tip for everybody. Don't take no crap. That's a double negative. What I mean by that is, for the most part, everybody you will encounter will be wonderful. Or at the very least, mildly pleasant. The worst you will probably encounter is somebody who doesn't talk much, just pays attention to the game, and whether they win or lose, they just gather their stuff up and leave with maybe a grunt. That will probably be most people's worst experience at an event like this. But there are some people in the community who can be difficult to deal with. And they come in many shapes and sizes. There's the sore loser, there's the sore winner, there's the rules lawyer, there's the belligerent ass. They come in all shapes. And I know this is hard, but if you do come across somebody like that, tell someone. I get that that sometimes can be uncomfortable to do, but there are many situations where it's warranted, especially if there's any sort of name calling or belittling of any kind. Get a judge. For most of you, this isn't going to happen, but unfortunately, there are some people out there who don't want other people to have fun, so they decide to ruin other people's fun by being chuckle fun. Let's not let them ruin our time. If it's something that you don't feel comfortable calling a judge for, then go talk to the employees after the round and let them know, hey, I was playing with this guy and he was kind of treating me like crap. And especially if you see someone doing it to somebody else, tell somebody, because this is supposed to be a game. This is a game we are supposed to be enjoying. So yeah, don't take no crap. Don't take crap. Just don't take crap. If somebody's being a jerk, confront them or get some help, because we ain't got time for this. We got spells to sling. That sounded so much dorkier saying it than it did in my head. Anyway, and finally, my last tip for going to an LGS for the first time, at least for the first time in a while, is to click on that. Really, that's not a tip. It's just the way I like to end the video. Like and subscribe. This show is part of the CIP Network, inspiring creativity, one episode at a time.